Frankly, if you're not vaccinated at the moment and you're eligible and you've got no health reason for not being vaccinated, you're not just irresponsible. I mean, you're an idiot.
Well, as you know, I was quite hesitant about getting the vaccine, but famous lying war criminal Tony Blair calling me an idiot on national television has totally convinced me.
You're an idiot.
Inject me now. If the Archbishop of Canterbury says it's immoral not to take the jab and that Jesus would have taken it. This message is sponsored by the World Economic Forum. To that I say, go to hell. Non-mark havers are immoral, declares heretic apostate Archbishop. Progressivism will hollow out your religion and wear its skin like a trophy. Because I'm sure Jesus, who told us, quote, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, would be the first in line to denounce and scapegoat a minority of refuseniks at the behest of global governments and a pharmaceutical industry with a $1.27 trillion annual revenue. Yeah, that sounds really Christian, doesn't it? You claim to be an archbishop, and yet I'm more well versed on the Bible than you are. Read some Revelations, for fuck's sake. Maybe instead of bending over for the regime to push the message, you should concentrate more on the fact that there are nonces running riot inside your own cathedral. Rough sleepers in England will be offered accommodation for getting a vaccine this winter.
I'll help you.
Britain is considering the rollout of a fourth round of vaccinations against COVID-19. Only 4? Why not release about 7 more at the same time and then promote it to people like binge watching a Netflix series? We can do this, people.
What's the best present you can give to your friends and family this Christmas? It's get you and them protected by getting the booster vaccine.
Couldn't care less.
Denise DeWald, MD, remember her? She was one of the voices pushing for a law, an actual law that would ban people from talking in bars and restaurants.
You can't eat with a mask on while at work, but if you take your mask off to eat, don't talk! You can eat without talking. Talking creates way more aerosols than quiet breathing.
Yeah, her. She's back with more reasonable suggestions.
The only surefire strategy to avoid getting infected is not to meet up with other people. Give the virus no opportunity. If you must mingle with other people, wear a tight-fitting mask, preferably an N95 or better. And don't take it off inside, even when alone.
December 25th, inside, on your own, sat in a corner, wearing a tight-fitting mask, crying. Happy Christmas, everyone. But why stop at tight-fitting? This rational and reasonable person bragged on Twitter about sealing it to her face with surgical tape. Natural immunity, meaning she already caught COVID before, despite dressing up like the queen of the bedwetters. Secondary mask for displaying opinions. Yeah, like the rest of your get-up doesn't already give us a stunning insight into your political proclivities. She fixed a cake that a cat walked on, but she's worried about Omicron.
My antivirus get-up seems to be getting a lot of looks from people at Newark sporting ill-fitting, non-CDC recommended masks they keep pulling down to eat snacks. I guess doing everything one can to avoid catching and spreading a deadly virus is very funny behaviour.
Yeah, because they're the weird ones. Lady, you're suffering from a mental disorder. And no, that's not a glib insult. It's a statement of fact. Illness anxiety disorder, sometimes called hypochondriasis or health anxiety, is worrying excessively that you are or may become seriously ill. You need to see a doctor, but not for coronavirus. Mass hypochondria, a planetary-wide phenomenon. Many such cases. What do you mean you don't have the 12th booster shot?
I asked the gentleman behind me to please cover his nose politely and was summarily laughed at.
You post entire threads consisting of creepy pictures you took of random strangers and their children. You should be grateful that being laughed at was the worst reaction you had.
For unvaccinated, we are looking at a winter of severe illness and death for unvaccinated. For themselves, their families.
Happy Christmas to you too.
If someone in your family isn't vaccinated, should you ask them not to show up?
Yes, I would do that.
Oh no, I'm sure I would have had a wild time at the perma-mask COVID test on arrival, socially distanced Christmas party. I told my 2 unvaccinated daughters they couldn't come in our house. One drove all the way from Texas We visited for 2 days on the patio. The other lives 5 hours away and is bummed she can't come for Christmas. And the winner of Parent of the Year award goes to... Authorities in New Brunswick, Canada and Queensland, Australia have given supermarkets the power to ban the unvaccinated entirely.
Sorry, you're only on your 9th vaccination and we don't sell to racists. If you're not vaccinated, get the fuck out of my house.
Soy wax.
If you're not vaccinated, get the fuck out of my house.
A bill in New York would give authorities the power to remove carriers of a virus from public life on an indefinite basis. But hey, at this point, why even complain? Life inside the corona gulag is starting to look more appealing than this hyper-paranoid, weaponized cringe world we've constructed around us. In the interests of public health, Canada is closing its gyms, but McDonald's will remain open nationwide. Maybe this is the solution. When I want to make sure people are healthy, I usually force them to stay indoors, close all of the gyms and stop them working and seeing their friends and family. I also keep them in a continuous state of dread, uncertainty and anxiety. This is for their health, clearly. Authorities in Wales will fine people who go to work, but they remain free to go on pub crawls. People in Scotland who visit nightclubs will be mandated to stay 1 metre apart from each other at all times, even on the dance floor. Pissed up Larry Scots in clubs being told to maintain a respectable distance. Yeah, good luck enforcing that. How are they all going to start fights with each other?
Don't touch the walls!
While playing squash. Have you ever tried playing squash without touching the walls? Somewhat difficult. Oh no, the walls are infected. Say that, science deniers. Covers up scientific exhibit. A man has been arrested after getting the coronavirus vaccine 8 times. In order to get vaccine certification on behalf of other people. Arrested, he's merely 6 months ahead of the curve. I'm surprised they haven't erected a statue in his honour. The New Zealand PM said orgies involving up to 25 people are now allowed to happen.
I can confirm that Tinder liaisons have reopened.
Wait, I thought the aim was to reduce the spread of viruses.
We've been finding a lot of these lately in our coastal waters.
Across the globe, an estimated 129 billion disposable face masks and 64 billion disposable gloves are now used every month, according to a study in environmental science and technology. And 4Ocean cleaning crews say they're finding it in the ocean by the thousands.
It's everywhere. It's Bali, it's Guatemala, it's Haiti. Masks are required all around the world, and people are using these single-use masks. They're coming out of these stores, they're getting to their car, and they're taking off the gloves, they're taking off the mask, and they're tossing them into these parking lots. And all these drains are leading to the oceans.
Greta Thunberg, any comment? Oh no, she's too busy scowling over life-giving plant food without which there'd be no life on Earth.
Blah, 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 blah.
People are popping COVID lateral flow tests like happy pills on the last day of Woodstock.
One of the new romantic things me and my partner do every morning is rapid test each other for COVID-19. This pandemic just keeps on giving.
Same woman.
Memories of the happiest day of my life. Hashtag get vaxxed.
Wait, you have 2 children and getting Pfizered was the happiest day of your life? The fuck is wrong with you? Feeling this?
This was me outside a dear family member's wedding reception last week. Just waited to tell the bride and groom I love them and congrats after I left. 350 people in one room, low ceilings, no masks, in a rural county with a 30% vaccination rate. I tested neg prior and wore N95 during travel, paid for a first-class ticket to maintain distance, didn't eat or drink on the plane, and 2 negative tests after, testing again today before returning to work as an RN, battening down the hatches again during this Omicron surge.
Test. Hypochondria. You need something testing, but it's not your COVID status, it's your noggin. What have they done to us? The 30-years-old Coombe Plyer saves for a QR tattoo, got COVID after every jab. I'm complying. If only everyone complied, we'd be back to normal. Worships Fauci vaccinated his newborn before circumcision. Secretly excited about new variants because he can comply more.
Why won't you comply? Don't be selfish.
Keep complying, idiots. Keep complying.